One, we're live. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Going live, going live. And I think we're live. Hey guys. 1 second. There's your spot. Okay, look pretty. Maybe we can get some more viewers. Guys, check out my newest video on ashwagandha benefits for women. Even if you're not a female, you'll find that video quite informative, and maybe you'll want to give some ashwagandha to your girlfriend or partner. What's new? Who knew that Qualia or Neurohacker Collector had like 3 variations of Qualia? So super cool. We got the Qualia Mind, caffeine-free, which I'm playing with, the Qualia Mind, and the Qualia Mind Essentials, this is better if you're on a budget, you can say, whereas Qualia by Neurohacker Collective, this is a product designed for, you can say, higher performance people, CEOs, people that are already making good money, as it's up there in price, but it pretty much covers everything. We were looking at 28 ingredients, or I think it's 28 ingredients, whereas what they've done is they've also come up with the Qualia Mind Essentials, which has pretty much the same ingredients at lower doses, or I believe there's just a few ingredients less. Like a simple example is they still have the BACOPA, the vitamin B, the acetyl-L-CARNITINE, the acetyl-L-TYROSINE. Although RHODIOLA, ROSEA, they have a decreased dosage. I think they have here not as much. And yeah, they have 150 milligrams, whereas the typical one has 300 milligrams. And then I'm looking forward to trying the caffeine-free, because with the Qualia Mind products, I've just found from experience that I prefer taking caffeine and L-theanine, although that's the one thing with Qualia Mind, it does have, I think, 85 milligrams of caffeine or so. So the ideal way I see myself using this is taking the caffeine-free, and then if I do want a bit of a pick-me-up, then I'll take it with some caffeine and L-theanine, because that 100 milligram dose of caffeine for me, I've just done it so many times that it's really predictable, which is what I like. But guys, I mean, really solid product, really nice boxing. This is the Qualia Mind caffeine-free. It's nice just to have these blends here and there. I'm a believer that you can use both, because there's going to be those times when you're out, you won't always have your supplement scale with you, so to speak. And here's something cool that I'm also trying. Let me know if you guys have tried this as well, the Qualia, the nootropic energy shots. I had a few questions for Neurohacker Collective just with respect to this product. I was surprised they added calories into it, since a good proportion of people taking these products are people that practice intermittent fasting. And this has, I mean, trace calories. We're looking at what, like 15, 20 calories, of which are sugar. I believe it's coconut sugar, something along that extent. But this is a good, solid product. This has the ginseng, whereas the other products don't. And what else is going on with me? I got, I just got some more wellbutrin XL. I think it now marks 2 years of taking wellbutrin. So if I have anxiety around any nootropic or anything in my particular stack, I would say it's the wellbutrin, just because, yes, there's no denying it is a prescription. A lot of people use it for as an antidepressant, or for seasonal affective disorder, you can say. I don't really think that I need it, but I like the energy boost. I like how it fights anhedonia, and it's pretty damn cool. So let me know, guys, what your questions are, and hopefully we can make this informative for everybody. Is rapid fire like T-bomb? No, rapid fire is like, yo, hit me with your questions and let's go rapid fire them. Pretty much, like, in summary, is like, let's cover the most information possible in the least amount of time and be super efficient. What do I think about, sorry, didn't, okay, I'll get to your question, Mr. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, not sure. Aaliyah, Dawit, Matt Walker, Tolkera, Joe Rogan. Guys, don't mind giving this thing a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get some people up in here. We'll answer questions for a good 20, 30 minutes. And who else is up in here? Let me know where you're from, and let me know what's new with you. Dawit, what do I think about Alpha Brain? I think it's good if you're somebody that's somewhat cautious about nootropics. This way, you don't have to go and study nootropics and what they do. You don't have to be too concerned about the side effects, as with Alpha Brain, it's pretty light. BACOPA, L-tyrosine, it's okay. It's not going to really do much. But if you're not exposed to nootropics, I think you may be a little bit impressed by it. But once you're exposed to some other good nootropic blends like MindLab Pro, like Qualia Mind, which I just mentioned, I think you'll definitely agree that Alpha Brain is maybe overrated or maybe overhyped. With the racetams, Matt Walker says, would the racetams stack well with Tomcat? Yes, 100%. Because the way in which racetams would help you are not in the same way that the Tomcat Alley will. Whereas with Tomcat Alley, it's more of like hormonal changes. better energy, perhaps better sex drive, better testosterone, whereas the racetam is more so like cognitive improvement, right? Better performance. Have you tried FL-Ladrafenol? No, I have not yet. Joe Rogan says, sorry, didn't hear. How often are you taking the wellbutrin? The wellbutrin, I'm just taking 300 milligrams XL once per day. But with the wellbutrin, there are days now where I don't take it. Like, for instance, on Saturday, that's my cheat day. I eat a lot of carbs. I overeat, you could say. And wellbutrin can be somewhat appetite suppressing, so I don't use wellbutrin in that case. And it looks like my dog is struggling to get to his chair. Sit, sit, sit. Enjoy your new sweater. Okay, good boy. So yeah, with the wellbutrin, who this is appropriate for? I would say somebody that has tried every antidepressant out there and hasn't enjoyed it. That's why, or not every antidepressant, but you've tried several different antidepressants. I think the big challenge with antidepressants for most people is they take time to work. So you're starting, let's say it's October the 1st, and you're hoping that by October 21st, maybe 3 weeks into it, you get some sort of benefit. I tried about, I think, 3 or 4 different antidepressants. I hated them all. Weight gain, brain fog, just carbohydrate cravings. And then I found Wellbutrin, and I asked my GP, why don't we try this stuff? And I liked it. Can lion's mane mushroom heal damaged nerves? Nerves cut / accelerate an accident? That's a good question. There's some evidence showing that to be true, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's that strong evidence. You can try pramiracetam and some other stuff as well. Onyx, you're being way too loud. Can you chill out, please? Good boy. From Texas. Okay, very cool. Best nootropics for working out. Not sure. That depends whether you're asking about improving your performance or if you're asking about like improving your recovery and building muscle and such. For working out, I really like L-TYROSINE. I think it's just amazing how much it can improve your focus, gives you a bit of energy, and really gets your mindset right. Really does act like a nootropic. They've started to add some nootropics into popular pre-workout products. You'll very often see alpha GPC. Sometimes you'll see L-THEANINE, but I don't think they're as good as L-TYROSINE in my opinion. And I don't believe it's a good idea to have rhodiola rosea pre-workout. Some people do. You don't really feel you don't really feel a crash, but you feel just kind of off 30 to 45 minutes into it. Whether that's from a decrease in blood sugar kind of lining up with your rhodiola rosea crash, I don't know. We'll see. Kate Wright, tell me more about Wellbutrin. I've totally quit Concerta now. The doom and gloom anxiety crash just too awful for me. Well, Kate, I'm really impressed that you got off of Concerta, because I swear when you were on it, you loved the stuff. Wellbutrin does not compare to Concerta when it comes to focus. I think Concerta, Adderall, those kind of supplements, they are closer to the limitless pill than modafinil is, in my opinion. You get the mood benefit, you get the focus, you get the energy, you get the drive, you get the ability to work for a long period of time without sleeping. So with Wellbutrin, I would say it's more so based around mood, less around focus. With Wellbutrin, you'll find, especially with people like social anxiety or people that don't like being with themselves because of whatever bad patterns of thinking, that's where Wellbutrin really has helped me out. You find yourself overthinking less, you can say. I'm from Ethiopia, studying in India. Okay, very cool. Bromontane solution, Tolkien. Don't know if there's a question around that. Who else is up in here, guys? And where are you from? Do you think powder is more effective than capsules? I noticed coffee gave me more stimulation than the caffeine capsules until I heard capsules might be slow releasing. Thunder Drake, that's a good question. I found just from my experience that the powders for all nootropics are more effective than the capsules. Who knows? I could be crazy. Specifically with the adaptogens, though, things like ashwagandha, bacopa, lion's mane, maybe rhodiola rosea. If you were to ask about that question with coffee versus caffeine, that's a little bit confusing, because coffee versus caffeine is not necessarily powder versus capsules. Coffee, guys, keep in mind, coffee is more than just caffeine. There's other stimulants in there too. This is like a bean. It's an antioxidant, whereas they're just taking straight caffeine. Yeah, not the same thing. Matt Walker, what's your best strategy for decreasing caffeine tolerance, and what supplements you might recommend to increase dopamine sensitivity? Oh, that's a question for somebody else. I'm not really too sure about this whole dopamine sensitivity conversation. So the best strategy for decreasing caffeine tolerance: take breaks firstly, but L-tyrosine, and rhodiola rosea should be your two best friends when you're getting off of caffeine. Phenylparastime is also good too. I find the one thing with phenylparastime is it's like the only nootropic out there which allows me to still function well and even work out without using caffeine. So Matt Walker, you may want to look into N-ACETYL-L-CYSTEINE. I've seen some people see good results from that. And if you are, I mean, prior to it, make sure you're not taking caffeine first thing in the morning, because the person that's really trapped by that scenario and finds it hard to get out of is the person that wakes up and just takes their coffee immediately, and they become dependent on that mood boost. Whereas me, maybe one of the reasons why I haven't built a tolerance to coffee / caffeine is I don't take it pretty much within the first couple hours of waking up, right? I wake up, just drink a whole lot of water, morning mindset exercises and such. So sorry, Matt Walker, if I didn't directly answer your question, but I hope that was helpful. Dawood, what is the best for brain fog? Best for brain fog, well, the thing with brain fog, what a lot of people don't realize is it's very often happening as a result of you not responding well to carbohydrates. Like when you're eating, especially when you're eating like 3, 4, 5 meals a day, like a typical person who's not practicing intermittent fasting, your insulin is like all over the place. So you really have to find what's best for you in terms of your carbohydrate intake. You may be better off having like more carbohydrates around your workout, for example, if you're somebody more active. So find what works. People ask me, why do I eat so many carbs? It's not that I eat that many carbs, but like 200 grams of carbs to 250 grams of carbs. That's like what 3, 4 cups of rice. It's not that much. It's just that I guess keto and low carb diets are the thing right now. There's a saying out there, it's like you have to earn your carbs. So assuming that your nutrition is right, the solution for brain fog in a lot of cases, add fats. Fish oil is really good. Add some olive oil, add some good healthy nuts. And then L-tyrosine can be pretty powerful. Specifically when I'm in a state of brain fog, that's when I take some L-tyrosine and I seem to get this nice mood uplift and get some mental clarity. Noopept can be good as well, but if it's brain fog, it's usually some sort of like foundational thing that needs fixing. So you're welcome to just ask me a little bit more. Just tell me a little bit more, David, about this brain fog that you're experiencing. Is it like a morning brain fog, or what does it feel like? Doc prescribed me some Ritalin for ADHD. I tried Ritalin last week just out of curiosity. I took 10 milligrams, and just you can tell it definitely does have that up and down, which is why it's not something you want to take long term if you can avoid it. Speaking of Kate's question with Concerta, took first time 20 milligrams yesterday. I don't feel anything. My focus is still bad and my thoughts are still racing fast, and I got stomach pain. What can I do with that for this? Fardeen, speak to your GP. The thing with Ritalin, I didn't notice it working for a good, I think like maybe a couple of weeks. It's subtle. You should notice a little bit of a mood uplift, if anything. From Singapore, you said you tried Pramaracetam. Is there more evidence on that for treating cut nerves? Kishal, that is a question for Google. Just look up top nootropics for treating cut nerves, because there's different studies out there, and I mean, it's going to be hard to find something that conclusive. So you may want to just look up anecdotes, even, right? Do you know of any nootropics beneficial for bipolar 1, or at least stabilizing / uplifting mood? That is a great question. Yeah, speaking of me, I've experienced the whole bipolar thing. Being in a state where I needed mood stabilizers, right? Being in an upstate, being in a downstate. Fix your nutrition, number 1. Use sleep as your barometer. When your sleep is off, something's off, whether it's depression, mania, or going in that direction, fix that. Omega-3s have a lot of research behind them as far as keeping your mood somewhat stable. So that would be first. Make sure you're getting enough omega-3s. Definitely cut out sugar entirely if you can, and be a bit mindful of carbohydrate intake again. And just, it's really important you live a healthy lifestyle. As far as nootropics, more so just be mindful that there are nootropics out there that may push you into mania or make it such that you shouldn't take because of psychosis, or they can do something. They're more likely to put you in an upstate versus a downstate. But no, it's not been my experience. It's not happened to me. I mean, I had a really bad bipolar episode, yet taking nootropics, even if they had warnings about them, I've pretty much been fine. So all of the racetams, I've been fine. with the adaptogens, those are ones which I would say are ideal for people looking to stabilize their mood or just practice better, you know, having better, you can say less emotional highs and lows, like specifically ashwagandha and lion's mane. I think those two go really well together. Let me know if that's helpful, John. Tried Concerta a few times. It sort of worked, but made me feel way worse than Vyvanse or Adderall. Is that right? That's really interesting with the Vyvanse or Adderall. Joe, tell me a little bit more about that. You tried a few times. It sort of worked. I've never tried Adderall, surprisingly, but with the Vyvanse, it felt okay. It didn't feel as strong as Concerta, like with the mood uplift and with the euphoria. But with Vyvanse, I mean, you wake up, I don't know, something kind of feels off, whether it's like withdrawal or something. I noticed specifically with Vyvanse, like the day after, I just felt somewhat dehydrated almost. I remember, and I've talked about this across my videos, like more vascularity showing, like your abs popping out. It just, yeah, and your weight will actually drop when you take Vyvanse. Scary stuff, man. Who knows what it's doing to your body? Have you ever tried or know anyone who's tried mirtazapine? I know someone on it right now, and they've had more success with it compared to SSRIs or wellbutrin. No, Joe, I haven't. Let me know about the other name of it, because with SSRIs, there's so many different names of them. This one looks like sold in the brand name of Remeron. Oh, it looks like it's actually a trending one, because if you just look, I'm looking at a graph on Google, it's like going up every single year. So that's very cool. But SSRIs with nootropics, I would be cautious. Tom says, have you tried Fasiracetam? What are your thoughts about it? I have tried it. I didn't notice much from it, so unfortunately, I did not try it again. Guys, don't mind giving this thing a like, because we only got 6 likes. And if you haven't watched the video on ashwagandha benefits for women, watch that video. It came out today. It will open your eyes to some information that I've never shared about ashwagandha, as the benefits with like skin, hair growth, testosterone, improving your sex drive. That's evidence for both genders, male and female. So I think after watching that video and learning about some of the health benefits, you're going to be wanting to take your, you're going to be wanting to get some ashwagandha for your sister, your girlfriend, your mom, whomever, just because it's an overall good, healthy supplement. Hey, Mike, ND Piracetam is out of stock. Do you have any recommendation? Where's the Fallon's Fox? Because he seemed to have some recommendations. I do like L-TYROSINE. That's thanks to you. Okay, that's very cool. I think L-TYROSINE, lion's mane, and probably BACOPA are 3 nootropics that people are thanking me about on a daily basis, you can say. Although, again, there are people that don't report, getting any benefit from the nootropics. So I feel bad for all of you if I've misled you in any way, and you thinking, or you expecting some supplement to be a magic supplement. Like phenylpiracetam, I think that lets down a lot of people. Surprisingly, for me, I mean, it's crazy effective. For a lot of you guys, I know it's effective for you too. Like Jen Jax, I remember we talking about liking phenylpiracetam a lot more than modafinil, for example. Do you take any supplements for your gut health, such as apple cider vinegar? Good question, Thunder Drake. No, not intentionally. I make sure I have a good multivitamin. I eat a pretty clean diet, you can say. I don't eat out very often, maybe once a week. That's it. Apple cider vinegar, I took it today, but it's not like a regular practice of mine. I may be the only one, guys. Let me know if you're otherwise, or you can break my belief on that. But I've not found like probiotics or digestive enzymes to be too helpful for me anyway. How do you avoid Ritalin withdrawal? Get off of it slowly if that helps. With that particular one, you shouldn't have to worry too much unless you've been on it for a very long time. With the withdrawals, if you're taking it twice a day, then I would recommend go from twice a day to like once a day, and then maybe you want to take it every other day, and eventually should be easy to get off. And then maybe during that week or 2 when you're off of it entirely, then perhaps you can use caffeine or some other stimulant, because it will work somewhat, you can say, on different receptors. The JP stream, I'm just going to skip your comment because you only write negative things. Okay, thank you for the information. Will do. How does the 100 milligram caffeine to 200 milligrams of L-theanine from Nootropics Depot hit versus coffee? Does it hit all at once, or is it more of an extended release? Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, it's pretty much what you would expect from it. My sister's calling me, but she doesn't know I'm doing a live stream. Pretty much what you'd expect with coffee. The one benefit is I mean, each sip you can feel it working. I mean, with me, when I drink coffee, I get this nice mood uplift every time. I get this this ounce of extra courage. With caffeine and L-theanine, it's actually really predictable in that I like it that way. You take it, and then you get a little bit more focus, and then somewhere about 20 to 30 minutes in, you can definitely feel it working. You're physically more energized, you're mentally more energized, you're more intentional on your work, and then you can expect it to work for a good maybe hour to 90 minutes there afterwards. And then by about, you could say 2.5 hours, it's pretty much out of your system, and you're experiencing some sort of like really light crash. But no, to answer your question, it doesn't all, I mean, it kind of hits all at once in like 30 to 45 minutes. It's more, but no, like I would say coffee is more of an extended release type of caffeine, because with coffee, you sip on it. You don't just take it all in once. Super appreciate your honesty and transparency. This is really helpful. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm glad you found it helpful. Big Gamer Pro, what is the best for stubborn belly fat? That would be yohimbine. Like nothing comes even close. If you guys haven't looked into yohimbine, yohimbine, what it does is it specifically like forces blood into your stubborn body fat. With your stubborn fat, there's what is it? Stubborn fat specifically, they actually have different receptors on them. So the first thing is you need to lose enough fat for you to be able to hit your stubborn body fat, because the stubborn fat is what will leave you last, right? So get to that point where you're like maybe 11 to 12% body fat, and then afterwards, fasted cardio is very effective for stubborn body fat. Specifically when you use yohimbine, like there's some magic which happens. If you look this up, you can find some good protocols on Google. It's like caffeine, yohimbine, and L-tyrosine, and then you do fasted cardio, and I'm telling you, you can just like feel your stubborn fat like shedding off of you. For me, that's like lower back. I think for most men, that's like lower back, maybe thighs as well. Whereas with females, it's more like thighs and triceps. They hold a lot of stubborn body fat. It's pretty damn cool. The bottom line is you got to lean out. You know, don't think you can lose your stubborn body fat first, right? There's no such thing as spot reducing and only losing fat in one specific area. As far as mood stabilizing, running does wonders for me. Nothing better than a runner's high. SJ, yeah, I totally agree. Whether it's BDNF or a bunch of good endorphins going on, it's crazy how like a runner's high, even for me, it works a lot better than going on the elliptical or a Stairmaster. You get these like, you know, you're able to build this unreal optimism. It's cool. Thanks for the response, mate. I've been on Lion's Mane for 3 weeks now, and I feel good initially. I started getting more depressed and anxious week 2, which seems to be the opposite effect. Any insight? Kishal, I would challenge you to really look deeper into that and analyze, okay, am I feeling bad because it's week 2 of Lion's Mane, or is there something else going on? Knowing you, you're somewhat intelligent, so I would imagine you've got a good grasp on things. Who knows? Maybe it could just be that Lion's Mane isn't working and you were experiencing some sort of placebo at the very beginning. That shouldn't be your Kishal, let's see how week 3 goes, because I've not heard that kind of response, but it's definitely interesting. Perhaps you could have been one of the few people that has built a tolerance to it. Best nootropic for depression. Best nootropic for depression. I don't know. Watch the video on 5 nootropics for stress and anxiety. That may give you some good information that you can do something with. I'm trying modafinil with some choline source. What foods do you think I should add to increase the choline instead of supplementing? The only one is pretty much egg yolks. Somebody recently asked me, did you notice any difference from taking a lot of egg yolks as extra choline? No, the answer was no. It didn't really seem to make a difference. So I'm a believer. I mean, when you get enough choline, you should be good. It's not like more choline makes modafinil work better or more powerfully. Forskolin for dopamine repair. In theory, I remember taking Forskolin for the same thing, as well as testosterone benefit and feeling better in some way. I mean, it fits that category of a lot of supplements do. That's sure there's some sort of health benefit, but not necessarily worth supplementing with. In my country, there's no racetams. What should I do? Oh my gosh, we need an answer to this, because this is a very common question on the channel. Did anybody watch the ashwagandha video from today? Let me know, because it's got like the lowest click-through rate. We're at like 4%. And then I'm like, obviously we have on this channel, it's 15% females. So guys, if you're, or girls, if you're a female viewer and you know female friends that may benefit from this information, please do share the channel with them, because we're about to hit 1,000. We're about to hit 10,000 subscribers, and again, it's 85% males. It's kind of crazy. It's been 5+ years since I've touched Concerta. I remember giving me good focus, but I felt bad and more anxious. I took 30 milligrams of Vyvanse, and the other day it made me feel euphoric. Yeah, because that's what they do. They're mood uplifters. And yeah, it's been about 4 or 5 years since I regularly use Concerta as well. Concerta was cool though, because although it improves your focus, it's not like modafinil in that modafinil can suppress your appetite. Concerta kind of can, but then with Concerta, let me know if this was your experience too. I experienced this horrible crash at the end of the day, more irritable, and I was actually more tempted to eat like sugary foods. You can say like a lot of saturated fat, unhealthy foods. So I don't know why that happened, but I did gain weight when using Concerta. It could have been that, or it could have just been that I was so determined to be productive that I started neglecting fitness and the gym. Who knows? Like I could accomplish anything as well as great focus. Do you take taurine? Much love from Texas. Very cool. Kane, I don't take taurine intentionally, but it is in my pre-workout supplement. I like taurine, especially if you're somebody that drinks a lot of coffee or takes a lot of caffeine. It can almost like prolong the effects of it. You can feel just having more energy throughout the whole course of the day. So taurine is one of those nootropics that I really feel is going to become more and more popular. They have it in 5-Hour Energy. They have a lot of it in Rockstar, and a lot of not only energy drinks, but sugar-free energy drinks too, which is cool. Do you think choline is necessary when using modafinil? Tom, the answer is yes. I think choline is always necessary, especially if you're working a lot. Whereas with modafinil, and when you're under the influence of modafinil, you're going to generally be working more. You're going to have a better work ethic. You're going to be less likely to be in a state of you wanting to be unproductive or waste time doing something like watching sports or some sort of entertainment, right? With modafinil, it's like you have this desire to be productive in any sort of way possible, but the mood uplift you get kind of offsets your judgment. It's really strange. I took modafinil today, but when I take it, I'm only taking 100 milligrams. I know a lot of people are taking 200 milligrams. That seems to be a common dose. For me, that's too much anyway. But I like the 100 milligram dose because with 100 milligrams, it seems to like not affect my sleep. I don't know if that's your experience, guys. Because I keep reading that with modafinil, people can't sleep for 13 to 15 hours. Nope, it doesn't happen with me. But if you guys haven't tried modafinil, it may be worth looking into if you're not liking modafinil. The one thing about modafinil is it's a bit lighter, and with modafinil, you're able to take naps. Whereas with modafinil, you're so stimulated that you really can't stop your mind from racing. It's pretty damn strange. Vyvanse compound isn't great either. Okay, is that right? Is there any I'm keen like compound from? I'm not sure, Piyush, about that question. Best supplement for increasing growth hormone. Growth hormone. Alpha GPC has some good science behind it, but it hasn't been my experience. And then there's a lot of people used to take L-glutamine right before bed because there was some studies showing that just taking L-glutamine before bed can supposedly increase your growth hormone levels at night. There was a point where pretty much everyone into fitness or bodybuilding was taking L-glutamine before bed until that kind of got debunked. I'm not sure, Shivam, just keep on looking that up. Do you believe that smoking/consuming weed consistently slows you down? Yes, I am. Although I don't know, because I mean, do a good evaluation of your friends and the ones who smoke, and let me know what kind of conclusions you make based on that. I like 100 milligrams as well. Okay, very cool. Cole Cooper says hello in capitals. I'm sure you have already been asked, but I'd appreciate an answer. Which is better? Alpha Brain, Qualia Mind, or Thorn Research Neurochondria? I don't know what Thorn Research Neurochondria is, but I like Qualia Mind the most. As a matter of fact, once this video is over, I will leave it up. And I talked about Qualia Mind because I have it in 3 different kinds. And they sent me a shirt too. So shout out to Neurohacker Collector. You guys are great. I like their stuff even before I started taking it. This is the energy shot. The energy shot doesn't taste too good, which is a good sign. Maybe it's doing something. I mean, it would have been nice for them to add some artificial flavors or something to it. But this is cool. It's like it also works well as a pre-workout, you can say. I like 100 milligrams as well. I'll try modafinil again. So far, it was underwhelming. Yeah, Kate, because you've been exposed to something like Concerta, don't expect much from modafinil. I couldn't tell modafinil was working the first time I took it. And then eventually you get to know it's doing something. And it's especially important you drink a lot of water. I mean, you drink a lot of water. Today, I think I've drank 2 of these. This is a gallon. Or if not, definitely 1.5. And that is how to get a good day of modafinil. MK677. Isn't that the gun in Call of Duty? Or am I thinking of a different gun? Cole Cooper, is that a question? What's your opinion on Noopep? Johnson, I like Noopep a lot. That was one of the first nootropics that you can say convinced me to start taking Noots seriously. Because when I first started with paracetam and oxiracetam and some choline, Noopep was like the thing. It was so talked about, and I knew I had to try it. And then I was taking too much of it, 60, 70, 80 milligrams per day. I definitely noticed I was far more productive. I was getting a lot done. Noopep, I like it a lot, but a lot of people don't respond that well to it. Quick hack for you, though. You get the powdered form and put it under your tongue. Leave it there for a good 30 seconds. It's some good stuff. Does nicotine cause cancer? I don't know. I don't know what's bad about nicotine, but speaking of nicotine, when you use it with modafinil, you kind of feel funny. You get like a slight mood uplift, but then it's followed with a low. It's weird. And guys, is it Thanksgiving wherever you are? Because we got Thanksgiving tomorrow in social isolation, which should be cool. Oh, sorry, not tomorrow, but tomorrow the Thanksgiving weekend starts. So happy Turkey Day for those of you non-vegetarians. Gone 18 to 20 hours with 600 milligrams of modafinil. Nice. Okay. Speaking of modafinil, if you're unfamiliar with the ratios, they say 300 milligrams of modafinil is similar to 100 milligrams of modafinil. But they're a bit different, though. With modafinil, you're slightly more irritable. Although with modafinil, something which is good is the mood uplift is definitely evident. MK6, okay. No. Any experience with EC/ECA stack? SJ, the answer is yes. I think all things somewhat healthy for fitness, I pretty much tried. ECA stack, I think it's good until you reach a point where you're just left with stubborn body fat, because there's evidence showing that the ephedrine can actually hurt you from losing stubborn body fat. As strange as that sounds, it's easy with the heart, it's easy to burn off that, you can say easy to lose fat, but with the stubborn body fat, that's where yohimbine is like the opposite. So with ephedrine, the best thing it does is suppress your appetite. There is no better appetite suppressant out there I can think of, all things being equal, pros, cons. And with ephedrine, you're able to get a little bit of focus too. So I found it really useful when I was studying back in the day, because with caffeine, you are able to start studying with it. That's what's good about it. But then you experience the crash, whereas ephedrine, it's lighter. It seems to only last like 60 to 90 minutes. I couldn't typically use caffeine in the later portion of the day, but I was able to use ephedrine. So it was helpful that way. But the ECA stack, for those of you who don't know, it is like a ton of caffeine and a ton of ephedrine. And the A stands for aspirin, but a lot of people don't use that. And you will actually find that you feel just off when you're taking that much caffeine. I remember by the end of it, when I used ECA I did the ECA stack for about 2 months. Prior to that, I was using an antidepressant, so I gained a lot of bad weight. I mean, it's hard to imagine now. I'm freaking thin and skinny as hell, and not having enough muscle. So I was overweight. I took the ECA stack for 2 months, and then at the end of the stack, at the end of that cycle, I was like strangely bloated, and it was water weight, and it was a realization to me that I've lost all this fat, but my hormones are so messed up that I'm basically having this excess fluid, and that only happened as a result of having so many stimulants in my system. So since that experience, I've always cut without the use of ephedrine, and they've been positive since then. But ephedrine does have a special use with appetite suppression. If you're going to do, a crazy, like low-calorie diet, which I wouldn't recommend, ephedrine kind of makes it tolerable. Let me know if that was helpful, Mr. SJ. I know I can talk about fitness, but it may not be informative or interesting for everyone here. No, I was answering whoever asked. I find jump roping equally as effective as running. Any thoughts? Yeah, Johnson, that could just be because there's some interesting things when you like stimulate your calves. There's actually this in studies. It does something with your cognition, specifically like that jumping motion. So I know what you mean. Why that happens, Johnson, not really sure. Although I was a jump roper guy as well for a bit. And why is everybody talking about this MK thing? Have you tried chitosan? No, I haven't. What's a good stack for neurogenesis? Colin, I watched the other video I made. I think it's 4 nootropics to promote neurogenesis or to promote new brain cells. Just tried phenylpiracetam, and wow, you were not kidding when you said it was stimulating. And I literally just microdosed with the stuff. It definitely seems better for occasional use. Was dead by the end. Ryan, that is such a funny story. I took phenylpiracetam today, but I only took like 40 milligrams. And then again, I see the odd comment with somebody saying they don't notice anything. Ryan, how long ago did you take it? And let's hear more about that. I'm beginning to learn that phenylpiracetam is far more effective when you're fasted. But when you start, if you have it like just after breakfast and you have lunch, don't think it's that effective. And guys, that's a wrap. I appreciate all of you. Let me know if you like that latest video, and I'll look forward to seeing you all next time. Guys, I appreciate you a lot more than you know, and feel free just to hit me up in the comments. Let me know if there's anything I could do to help. And take care, guys. Have a good Thanksgiving weekend for all of my Canadians. Cheers.